morning, class. I wanted to start some notes for area and perimeter. Now, if we were in class, we would probably go a little further with this section, but since we're doing digital learning, we're going to try and keep it a little simple. This should be a review. It's just area and perimeter. It's getting us ready for probability section, and so we didn't want to skip it because you do need to recall the formulas. So I did post all the formulas up already. And the assignment for the week also has the formulas on there, so that way you don't have to click back and forth. So what I wanted to say is perimeter, hopefully everyone remembers, is basically we're taking a two-dimensional shape, so whether it's a rectangle, square, circle, whatever, and the perimeter is the distance around the figure. So when we have like a rectangle, for example, we know that the opposite sides are congruent. And so we can very easily, if they're only giving us the length and the width, we know that 2 times the width plus 2 times the length will give me the perimeter, because that's just adding all the sides up together. Okay, so I don't want you to freak out. Perimeter is just adding all the sides together. You may need to use some of the properties, however, because they might not give you all the information. So for example, a rhombus, remember, all sides are equal. And so if they only give you one side, you can still find the perimeter because you can just do that side times 4 because all the sides are congruent. And so that'll give you the perimeter. I do want to talk about perimeter of a circle. We don't call it perimeter because a circle is round. We call it a circumference. And so the circumference has a little bit different formula. And so if you look over here, the circumference or perimeter of a circle, right, is 2 times pi times r. And so r is the radius of the circle, which is half the diameter, okay? And then pi is roughly 3.14, blah, blah, blah. So if your calculator doesn't have the pi symbol, it's okay. You can just use the rounded pi. Normally in class, when we have the calculators, we don't like to round it. We like to use the pi symbol because it's more accurate. So let's look at an example real quick. So example 1, it looks like this funky little shape, but actually, if I draw a line right here, okay, I now have 2 rectangles. I don't know if you can see that, okay? So if I do this, it looked more complicated, but really I'm just separating it into 2 problems, and then I'm going to add it together. This one's actually easier than you think because it's just asking us for the perimeter. And so if we know this whole thing is 11 here, and we know that this is 4, okay, we know that this piece is 8. And so if I cut this off, this piece also is 8, okay? And the reason I want to know that is because if I do 14 minus 8, it's going to give me this leftover right here, which I don't need for the top part, but I do need it for this piece right here. And so it is important to do that 14 minus 8, and that's going to give me this little piece right here, okay? And so from there, we have this piece now, we have this piece, we have this piece, this piece, this piece. So we need this piece right here, okay? This little tiny piece. And so if I cut this way, okay, I know that this is 8, okay, because this is 8. But how do I know what this is? Okay, so you got to be really careful because this looks a little funky, right? And so if we go over here, you can see, well, I know that this piece is 4 because this piece was 4. And so I can do 11 minus 4. And now I know that this piece is 7 because I knew this was 11. So you're breaking it up into multiple rectangles to help you figure it out. So now I can actually find the perimeter because I can now add up all the sides. Okay, and so here's that 6. How do we get the 6 again? We did the 14 minus the 8, and we got that. And so we know this is 4, this is 6, this is 7, this is 8, 11, 14. And so now we just add it all up, and we get that it's 50. Okay, if we scroll down, we're going to do area in the next video. So I just wanted you to know the perimeter. I will do a circumference problem as well in a little bit, but just remember circumference is equal to 2 times pi times r, and I'll continue this in the next video.